What's up, guys? Assalamu alaikum. This is Buya. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about a need that every Git user might have. Most of the times, we might need to develop a program, develop a project or a repository from two different or three different machines. But consider, for example, on your system, you've got two operating systems. This is most of the time the case for me. Two operating systems, for example, one of them is Linux and another one is Windows. So you want to develop a project from both of them. Okay, the first solution that may occur to our minds is to simply copy the codes from Windows to Linux, but that doesn't really work and it may have a lot of problems. Another way is to have a GitHub repository and make our changes on our repository and push these changes to that GitHub repository. And the other project on the other machine can simply clone, then pull the changes each time that a change has been made. And in this way, we may encounter some errors that we are going to see how to solve them with rebase. So let's dive in. Okay. In the two previous videos, we talked about how to create a Git project, and we talked about the 6 options. If you haven't watched two previous videos, I strongly encourage you to watch them before following this tutorial. And in this one, we're going to see how to develop a project from different machines. At first, we're going to see how to clone the project, then we're going to talk about how to pull the changes made from other Git repositories, and at the end, we're going to simulate an error, and we'll see how to solve these errors. So let's do it. Okay, we talked about the table of content, and in here we're going to see how to clone a project. Okay, we created the Git repository, which we called it Git underline 01, and all the steps here are based on Git 01 because we are working on top of that. So definitely we are going to create more commit messages. So when you execute Git underlines git dash dash log git log dash dash one line, you may see different commit messages, or even in this video we're going to see more commit messages because we are working on top of the notes that I had made on this repository, on this readme or notes that I had made previously. So to clone a project, simply you open the project. It doesn't matter, it could be yours or it could be for others. In this video we consider that the project is yours. Okay, this project is mine and this is and I have signed it. Okay, to clone the project, you could click on the code, and you got 3 options. As we discussed before, SSH is for those that they have established the SSH connection between their remote server, which in this case, in our case, is GitHub. And HTTPS is going to ask you each time, if I'm not mistaken, for username and password, which I don't feel convenient using it. I like to go on with SSH, so it is not going to ask me each time, okay, give me your password or give me your username. So if you don't know how to establish SSH connection between your system and your GitHub repository, check the second video in this playlist about the introduction to GitHub. So simply click on SSH and copy it. If you don't have SSH connection, you can go on with HTTPS. It is going to just ask your username and password of this account owner. Okay, if the account owner is you, so you know the username and password. Okay, in this case, I'm going to use SSH. So let me I have created it's machines. Okay, first machine. I have created a directory. I have created two directories. First one is the first machine, and another one is second machine. Because I want to simulate working from two machines, I'm going to clone the project on two different directories. Each of them, we can consider each of them as a different machine. So let me clone the project. To clone the project, simply git clone, and okay, not like that. We are on Windows. So the clone the project, just simply git keyword and clone, and you add the URL. Okay. Just remember, when you click on HTTPS, your URL starts with HTTPS. Okay, so this part will be different if you are following the HTTPS. From after cloning, everything is going to be the same. Okay, click on enter. We shall wait for a while. Yeah, it just clone the repository. Let me show you on directory as well. So here it is. As you can see, we've got two files, names.txt and a readme that we created in the previous video. And let me show you that everything is the same. As you can see here, the readme and the names.txt dot git is responsible for all the features. Okay, this is not shown here, but you got one here as well, which GitHub actually controls it. So okay, let me close this one and let's check the commit messages, and we're going to see even the histories and the commit hashes are the same as well. So git log dash dash one line. Okay, I have to change the directory to the one that .git exists there. Okay, git log dash dash one line. Okay, as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 commits in our history, and you got the same in the GitHub repository as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even the commit messages are the same. Second machine, add fourth line, add fourth name to txt, and add names.file. The messages is the same. Let me minimize it a little bit. And even the commit hashes are the same. Okay, so this is a complete copy of the repository we've got here. Okay, so this is how we can clone a project from your a local machine. Okay, let me clone it from the second machine as well with the same codes. It will be the same. No, we don't have any changes. Okay, it doesn't matter in how many places or in how many machines you clone your project, they are going to be the same. Git log dash dash one line. Okay, these are exactly the same. So okay, we are on second machine. Okay, let's make a change in second machine and let's see how we can pull it. Okay, so in this part, we are going to see how we can make a change on a machine and how we can pull the changes from other machine. Okay, so for example, let me see where I am. Okay, this is first machine. Okay, let's do it from second machine. Doesn't matter which machine you're going to make the changes, both are the same. Okay, consider on names.txt. Okay, I want to add a new line and just write my name simply. Okay, this is a new line at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the sixth line. Okay, and I add my name. Okay, and git status, it's going to say you have a modified file which names.txt, and say okay, git add names.txt, git commit dash m. I'm going to say I'm sending this, I'm making these changes from second machine So I'm going to explicitly add it to the beginning of my commit message. So I would be able to distinguish between commit messages easily. So this is sent from second machine, and for example, add six line, whatever, six name to names.txt. Okay, so git add git push origin main. Okay, it pushed the changes to GitHub repository. Let's check the changes. Yeah, we've got 7 commits. Add 6 name to names.txt. It is here. Not that. Let me open the names.txt, and as you can see, they are exactly the same. Okay. Oh, this is readme. I should have opened this one. As you can see, these are exactly the same. Puya, Taha, and till the last one, which is Puya again. So we made these changes from second machine. Okay, let's check the first machine. The names on the first machine does not contain Puya at the end because we haven't pulled, we haven't fetched, or we haven't get the changes. Okay, let me start another CMD from first machine. Okay, this is from first machine. So I just increased the font size so we can see it easily. Okay, this is from the first machine. Let me show you again the history. Git log online. As you can see, the last commit message is second machine at fourth line. Okay, the last commit message from our Git repository or remote changes is about second machine says add fix name to names.txt, which this repository does not contain it. Okay, so in this case, if you want to pull the changes from your remote repository, simply you're going to use git pull origin main. Here there are no conflicts. Okay, it is going to get the changes, and I hope it does. I think there is a problem with my internet connection. Let me check it. Okay, git pull origin main. It says we fast forward names.txt, just one line has been modified, one file change, and one insertion because we inserted just one line in the second machine. And let's check the log history as well. As you can see, the log history has changed, and we've got 7 commits right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the commit message is the same. Second machine adds 6 name to names.txt, exactly like the one we got here. And even the hash code is the same, 28 3bcdb, 28 3bcdb. The commit hashes are the same as well. So that's how you can clone a project in different machine. Doesn't matter how you can make changes. No matter which machine you are making the changes, you can make the changes in your while you're trying these features on the first machine if you like, and pull the changes from the second machine. It doesn't matter, and you know how to make the changes, how to push it, and how to pull them whenever you desire to do so. So now we are going to see what happens if we make some changes. For example, in the first machine, we are on the first machine right now, and we make the changes, we push it to the remote repository, and we start working from second machine, but we forget to pull the changes, and we make our changes. So what will happen? We haven't pulled the change. What is going to happen in that case? So we're simulating a situation that is going to happen frequently for you guys. Trust me, it still happens to me all the time. And it's better to know how to solve it when we encounter one. And it's better to prevent it, definitely. Preventing it is a better option, but uh, knowing what to do could save you from a lot of disasters in the future. So let's make our change here. We are on the first machine, okay? This is the first machine, as you can see. First machine gets underline 01. And the name's the txt, okay? I want to add my last name at the end, okay? I'm going to save it. This is a simple change. I'm going to save it and let me first machine, okay? Git status, like always. This is lifesaver. Use git status or check the history as much as you can. And git add names.txt, git commit. Okay, I'm sure about my changes, so I want to make a snapshot or I want to save it in the history. For saving in the history or the git logs, you need to create a comment. Okay, comment. So git commit -m. For example, we can say, okay, let's say first machine, so we can distinguish the commit messages. First machine and add last name to names.txt. Okay, and okay, that's it. Let's push origin main. Let's push it to the GitHub repo as well. So let me refresh it. We're going to see Mohammadi. Yep, at the end, at the 7th line. So we made the changes on the first machine, okay? Let's go to the second machine. Consider you're back home and you want to continue the project, and simply, this is the second machine, okay? And simply you forget to pull the changes that you had made when you were working on your computer on campus, in campus, okay? Simply, you forget it, and it's gonna happen a lot, trust me. So I'm not gonna pull the changes. Okay, why I'm opening readme? I'm not gonna pull the changes. This is the second machine. Muhammad is not here, as you can see. And here I say, for example, I add my full name, and instead of my last name, I add my full name at the same line and the same file. Okay. So let me close it. I'm working as a typical day. I'm going to check the status and say, okay, you modified the name, and say, oh, I know, let's add the names of txt. Let me make a commit for it. Now, for example, we'll say this is the second machine. Let me show you guys. This is the first machine. Okay, the last commit was created from the first machine. Okay, and we are creating another commit message from the second machine, but we forget to pull the changes. Okay, let's see what happens. And we say, okay, this is second machine, or for example, my home machine. And for example, in this case, I'm gonna add full name, not first name. Okay, add full name to names.txt. You say, okay, the commit message is created. Let's check one line. Let's check the history. The history says the last commit message is second machine. Okay, but the last commit message on the GitHub repository is done by first machine, which we don't have it on our second machine. Simply you say, okay, that's good, that works for me. Let's push the changes to our remote repository. Git push origin main. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's where the game begins. It says rejected. You wanted to push your branch main to branch main of your remote repository. We are going to talk about branches, don't worry. Remote repository, but failed to push some refs to GitHub, blah, blah, blah. This is This will be different for you based on your name and the project name that you're working. It's simply said the hints are really good right now. If they said updates were rejected because the removed contains work that you do not have locally. I think that's enough for here. Just reading till here would remind you everything. That's it. Oh my God, I pushed something when I was on campus and I haven't pulled it. So let me pull it. And as it says, okay, you know what? Let's pull the changes that you had made. Okay, definitely, this is the first solution that comes to mind. Let's pull the changes we have on remote server. Let's pull git pull origin main. We know how to pull, okay? So we're going to use what we have learned so far. Okay, again, it says automatic merge. Okay, this is a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit different than. Okay, this is a little bit different than Windows and um, Linux. Let me see what branch we're on. Okay, it's by default it merges it. Okay, let's see again. Log 119. Okay, second machine. Second add full name. Okay, it didn't change it. Okay, let me reset it. So I don't want to continue going with merge because based on my notes here, I said we're going to check merge in another video. So I didn't know that Windows by default goes with merge option. Let me show you when you're working on Linux. That's why I love Linux. When you want to pull a git pull origin main, actually, if you change, okay, for those Windows lovers, if you change the configs of uh, your git on Linux on Windows machine, it's going to work the same. Okay, it's not like it's not possible on Windows. If you do git pull origin main, it is not going to do the pull, and it's going to give you three options. Whether you want to merge it, like default strategy, most of the time it says if you want to merge it, whether you want to rebase it, or whether you want to fast forward it, which is not possible right now to fast forward because we've got conflicts. And the other option is to merge it. So let me git reset dash dash hard head. So let me see. Okay, dash. Let's get back where we left, where we're getting one step before pulling the changes. Okay, because I don't want to follow this default strategy. Okay, git log dash dash one line. Okay, we are at full name, and let me show you. We're on the second machine. Okay, this is the second machine. Names.txt. Okay, everything is exactly before we wanted to pull. Okay, consider we want to. Let me just push it again. It's okay. Push origin main. It's going to show the same error. Okay, it's going to show you that you've got some changes on your local on your remote machine that you don't have it. Your local machine does not contain it. Okay, like this one. It says there are some work. Tip of your current print is behind this remote. Fail to push some refs. Is it changed? Updates were rejected because the tip of your current. God. Okay, we're on main. Remote counter volunteer, right? Log dash dash one line. Okay, the first updates were rejected because the tip of your current branch is behind this remote control. Yeah, it's okay. It says your last commit that you have made is behind. For example, this one is behind the remote changes because we've got this one, add 6 name to the names from the show. Let me show you the remote. Yeah, give me a second. Okay. We've got this one, add 6 name to the names. Okay, we've got this one, but this we don't have it. So it says were rejected because the tip of your current branch, which means here, is behind its remote counterpart. Yeah, it is behind its remote counterpart. This does not it is not available. So let's get back to here. When we are not going to use the default strategy, we are going to follow the rebase. Okay. Whenever you realize that there are some works on your remote repository that you don't have it and the pushes are rejected, we got two options. You can follow the default strategy, which is simply just say git pull origin main, and you have to merge it, or you can do this git pull origin main and simply add rebase. I have checked this option, what rebase does. Rebase simply takes the commits from your remote server and take your commits and put it on top of it. Okay, it takes, for example, this one and put it on top of the last commit that are available on your remote repository. So why we are not going with the default strategy? Simply, we're going to check it in another tutorial. So actually, both of them are going to end in the same conflict, which is this one. Okay, even if you want to follow the default strategy or you want to follow the rebase, their difference is that in the first or in the default strategy, you have to make one more commit message that says, okay, we merged these two repositories. Okay, but in the rebase, you're not going to have that we merged it. So simply that's why most of the times I follow the rebase, because I don't want to have another message that says, okay, you had a conflict, you remember that day you had a conflict, so this merge commit is made because of that. Rebase does say, okay, I'm gonna rebase your project on top of the last changes on your remote server, and you can follow from there. And you don't need to make another commit message that's saying, okay, we merged it or we solved the conflicts before. If you like to do so, you can do it. You can go on with merge. Most of the companies follow that way. It's totally okay. So what happened? Git pull origin main dash dash rebase. It says resolve all conflicts manually. Okay. It says, let's read from one line before. Or maybe 2 lines before. It said conflict. Merge conflict in names.txt. It says when Git wanted to make the rebase or wanted to bring this, to locate this commit before your changes, we've got an error. We've got an error. And what is the error? It says we wanted to auto merge this file, which is called names.txt, but we've got a conflict. What is the conflict? Because from 2 machines, we made 2 changes on the same file and on the same line. Okay, that's why Git and exactly the rebase cannot automatically solve the conflicts. So what should we do? Let's use git status all the time. It helps. And as you can see, when you execute git status, it says, what, names.txt is modified. But we are pretty sure that we didn't change it. Okay, we added to the stage and we commented whatever that were on that stage. Okay, so what happened? What changed it? And if you check the branches that we got, you are going to see that we have a new branch, which is called no branch. Actually, it's not a no branch. It's not a branch, but it's kind of, we're not on the main branch. The Git has moved us to another world, you can say, or another branch, which is not a real branch, but there are some changes made on it. And it is called rebasing. It says while you want to do rebase. What does rebase means? As we said, rebase means that we want to get the commit messages, commits, let's say commits, on your remote server and bring them before your last changes, okay? This is called rebasing. When Git wanted to do the rebasing automatically, it couldn't do it, okay, because there was some conflict. So it moves us to another branch and says, you know what, there are some conflicts, bro. Just solve the conflicts by yourself. And again, let's check the history one line. As you can see in this history, very important, very important. You got to notice here that our last commit message or last commit is gone. Okay, these are the commits from a GitHub repository. Our last commit was this one, second machine add full name to names.txt. It is gone. We don't have it here because we are in another branch. We call it throughout rebasing. The Git brought all the changes from the remote server. This is the last change from remote server, and it wanted to bring or local changes on top of this, but it couldn't do it automatically. So why it couldn't do it automatically? And we've got a modified file here, okay? And we are on the second machine. Let's check it manually. We're on the second machine. Let's check names.txt. So as you can see, this is the changes. What does it say? It says on head, we have whatever that comes before this signs, equal signs and smaller and bigger signs. It simply means, you know what, these are okay. Don't worry about them. You have to resolve this part. On the head of this branch, what is the head of this branch? This is the head of this branch. And as you can see, the head of this branch is from first machine that we added our last name, okay? Add last name to names.txt. It says from the head, we've got Mohammadi from the head or last commit from this branch. We've got Mohammadi that it comes from the first machine. It was made on, it was pushed to GitHub repository. We've got Mohammadi, and from your own local commit message. What is our own local commit message? It is called second machine add full name. Do you remember? We made this machine. We made this change. And it says from your local commit message, you want to commit. Why I say commit message? From your local commit, you wanted to add Puya Mohammadi at the same file, which is called name.txt, and at the same line, okay? And the Git says, look, I don't know which one should I take. Simply resolve this conflict manually. Okay, me as a Git user, I say, okay, in this case, you know what? I want to have both of them side by side, okay, in two different lines, okay? So I removed this extra signs that were put there by Git to show me where the conflict lies. So I'm going to remove them. So I say, okay, in my names.txt, I want to have my first name, my last name, and my full name in three different lines. It's okay. I wanted to do this previously or whatever. Your conflicts may not be that easy, and they might be in like several files, not just one file. Maybe you made a change. It's possible, for example, you make changes on like 10 files, and without pulling it, you continue to code and you realize, oh my god, you got a lot of conflicts. You have to manually resolve the conflicts. In some IDEs like Python and other IDEs, they simply give you two options. You are going to say, okay, I want this one or that one, and it removes these signs for you automatically. We're going to see it when we use Python. But the fact is, they do the same. Okay, they simply remove these signs and choose the one that you accepted. Maybe you want to accept both of them. In that case, again, you have to manually make your changes. Okay, we made our changes manually. After making your changes, what you have to do is simply going to say git add. You're going to add your you're going to add the names.txt, and in this case you're going to say, okay, I resolve the conflicts. So git let me see, what was it? Git rebase. Okay, git rebase, please continue your rebasing. I made the changes. Okay, I resolved the conflicts. If you didn't have any conflicts, okay, the rebase would have continued without stopping in this section. Okay, it would simply continue and make the proper changes. But there was a conflict, so rebase simply said, you know what, I can't do it. Just uh, solve the conflicts manually, then tell me to continue after you have saved them, after you have solved them. And we solved the changes. We said, okay, the names.txt is the one that I wanted, so simply continue rebasing. Don't worry, it's the easiest part. It says, okay, after rebasing, you made some changes. Okay, are you sure you want to have the same commit message for these changes as well? This is the last commit message that you made previously. Okay, all those lines that have this hashtag sign, these are comments. Okay, don't worry about them. You can read them, but I'm telling you, this first line matters. It says simply, okay, are you sure you want to go on with the same commit and commit message? Are you okay with that? Add full name. This is the case for you. In this, you can change it. Okay? Simply, okay, this is VM, if I'm not mistaken, based on Unix. So I should say insert. Okay, you should click on I to be able to make changes. When you click on I, it says insert. It lets you to make some changes. In this case, I'm gonna say, you know what? After clicking on I, you can make your changes. Okay. I say, you know what? Just follow with this one. This commit message is pretty much shows what is going on. I'm gonna click on escape and save and exit. How we exited this one? God, I don't remember it. Give me a second. Okay, I think we should click on escape. It doesn't show here. I don't see it. In Linux, it shows it. Colon and Q. Use it. God, I don't see it. Okay, okay, escape, colon, and Q. It says no. What was it? Let me see it. W and Q. Okay. W means write it. Q means quit. I should have increased the size so I could see the changes here. That was the main problem. Okay, just if you let me recap it. If you want to make change on that VM, simply click on I and make your changes. Then click on escape, the escape button on your keyboard. And if you want to change, if you want to change, click on escape after you have made your changes, made your commit message. Click on escape, and then put a colon, and W means write it, and Q means quit. Okay, so you should say like escape, colon, and WQ. It overwrites it, and Q quits from the VM. So, okay, we are back with rebase again. Okay, the rebase is done. It says successfully rebased and update the refs, heads, and the main branch. So let's see what happened. Git status simply says everything is okay, nothing to push or whatever. git log dash dash one line. This is where we can see the exact rebase. Okay, we had made this commit, if you remember it. Okay, it rebased it. It brought the changes from remote repository. This was the change from remote repository that we didn't have it. Okay, on that place. So we rebased the remote repository to our local machine, and this is here. And rebase exactly brings the changes from remote repository, and it puts or changes on top of it, or commits on top of it, which is the case. Rebase gives us an option. It says, okay, you made some changes while you were solving the conflicts. If you want, you can change your commit message if you want. And we realized that, you know what, we don't want to make those changes. So it's okay, and says, okay, it's okay if you don't want to make any changes, just follow the same commit message. And as you can see, the commit message are in the place, and we were able to solve this conflict. So I showed you the git status, git log dash dash one here, and now it's time to push it, because we simply, so far, we just pull the changes. Push origin main, because let me show you again, in this section, we still don't have the latest commit. Okay, we have it on our local machine, so don't forget it. After solving the conflicts manually, you should make your changes and push it to remote repository. So let me push it. It's gonna work fine, don't worry. We're not going to see any errors. I don't know what happened to my CMD. Yeah, it's better right now. There was something here that even blocking me from seeing the codes for VM. So let me refresh it. Okay, we've got 9 commit messages. As you can see, we've got second machine, add full name to names.txt 7 minutes ago. It's okay. Let me show you the names. These are exactly the same, Puya Mohammadi and Puya Mohammadi at the end. This is how we decided to resolve the conflicts. So that's it for today's video. If whenever you face whenever you want to push your changes and you see, okay, it doesn't work, or the GitHub rejects it, it says that remote repository have some changes that you don't have, definitely you have to get those changes. How you can get those changes? You got 2 options. Let's follow the one that we checked in this video. Maybe I make another video exactly on the same project and talk about how to change it with merge, which is the default case. But I don't know why I like rebase, because I think it's more clean. You know, you don't need to have another commit message that says, you know, you merged it. Okay, I don't need it anyway. Maybe we go on with I make another video about following the changes by default. So if you get this reject message from Git while you're pushing your changes, you can go on with Git pull origin main dash dash rebase. If you haven't, if you don't have any conflicts, like the one that we had, the Git couldn't merge it automatically, because we made changes on the same file on the same line. Okay, it happens. But if you, for example, if you had created another, if you create another file in your second machine, and in your first machine you don't do anything to that file, and you work in another file, it simply will do the rebase without bothering you that there are some conflict, because there aren't any conflicts. These are 2 different files. So you would simply, after git pull origin main dash dash rebase, it is going to say rebase was done successfully. But if you have conflicts, which most of the time it happens, you have to resolve the conflicts manually. In this case, we had just one conflict in one file. You may have a lot of conflicts in a lot of files, and you have to do them manually. That's the case because you forgot, because you forget to pull the changes, and then and that's the payback, you know. So resolve the conflicts and add the changes that you have made. Do the git rebase dash continue. It is going to open a VM for you. Simply, if you want to change the commit message, you are going to say, you're going to click on I and you're going to make your changes. If you don't want to do so, if you want to follow with the same commit message, you are going to simply, for example, say, you know what, just I want it. So click on escape and click on colon, and Q will get you out of there. But I think because we made some changes, okay, we clicked on the insert, it says you have to override it or whatsoever. If it doesn't work, click on escape and put a colon. W will override it and Q will get you out of the VM. And the git rebase will say, okay, successfully rebased and updated refs. Remember, all the conflicts should be resolved. Okay, there should be no modified files here. You have to solve them all, and you have to add them all as well. All of those files as well. So after continuing the rebase, everything will get back to normal. The changes on your remote repository will come before your last commits or commit messages like this one, and you can simply push the changes to second machine from second machine. Okay, let us. This is the second machine. Okay, let us get the changes from first machine. Git status always works. Just use it as much as you can. Git log -- one line. And as you can see, we are on first machine, add last name to names.txt. We don't have this one, add full name to names. Simply, I'm going to git full origin main, following the defaults. I didn't add any rebase because I don't have any conflicts. I simply want to pull the changes with the default. And it simply adds, gets the changes from remote repository. Let me show you the changes. The history, as you can see, this is the history. Second machine, add full name to names.txt. And as you can see, the hash commits are this. The comment hash are the same. Hashes are the same. AFF3BC1. They are the same. Okay, that's it for how to rebase when a conflict occurs, or when you forget to pull the changes before making your further modifications. So like always, please subscribe our channel, like the video, click on the bell ring so you will be notified of the future videos, and I encourage you guys to consider introducing our videos to your friends and colleagues so they can benefit from them. Thanks for watching. Till the next video, have a good time.